regain again the second place. I honestly don't see anybody being able to catch Vampire Esports, even though I would really want Alpha 7 to be able to catch them, right? Because I do do that region a lot. The way Vampire Esports is playing right now is ridiculous.
I'm not a massive fan of like tournaments where you already know which team might just run away with it all. There's still a chance it's not going to happen. Do we expect them to fall off 7?
No. I mean, the thing is that they keep doing the same thing in regards to, I was trying to get to it earlier, they position themselves in such a great spot that they pretty much wait for all the other teams to fight it out. And then at that point, they're like, okay, I think it's time we want to involve ourselves. The pacing, once again, it comes down to the pacing of the game. And now going over to Alpha 7, I do have to give them props because they were able to implement something really well yesterday. And that was the 3-1 splits, being able to have Mafioso there as the anchor. They've been able to do that again here today. And it's not Miramar. It's good that we're getting a chance to see this here in Erangel with Mafioso being able to be the anchor. I think at one point, right, Max, you saw them trying to make a push onto a team?
Yeah, and actually they sent Revo onto the side. I thought like they were just going to leave Revo to die out in the blue and just try and secure information and an off angle thanks to him and then just try and play it out as a 3-man team. But it worked so well, they were able to actually get Revo back with a whole squad and then spread out, get multiple angles in the fields. But then the moment Mafioso was picked away, which it's kind of unlucky because he just got instantly headshot. I think it was a mini 14 by one of the players of Vampire. It was an instant knock. But if Mafioso doesn't get knocked and they hold on to that off angle that was really, really well set up by the entirety of Alpha 7, I think they win that game.
Vampire, I felt like they were baiting Mafioso for the longest time with the two players. Yeah, and then Tony K was just like, hey, I'm here.
Also, by the way, another record that could be broken potentially today, actually it would be 2 technically that would be broken today, is that Vampire technically have the most total chicken dinners won in PMWI. They have their own record, which was at 3. They're at 2 now. If they can win 2 out of the remaining 4 matches, they would have broken that, won an extra $25,000, and also broken the record for most chicken dinners in a day at 2.
You know, who am I?
Sertani.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What was this talk from him about? Yeah, just day 2 events we seem to be cursed.
What?
I said cap.
I say cap right now.
At the beginning of the day when I heard that, yeah, that's a lie, sir.
If this is a curse, I mean, all the teams are just having, I don't know what's going on.
Maybe on other events when the prize pool's not like $2 million, they're like, oh, you know what, maybe we're cursed on those, but when it's $2 million,
still a small tournament.
Sertani is like, Rolexes, yes.
Still a small tournament.
I mean, I got to imagine like what's going to be a big tournament for them eventually. Like if you think about like, oh, if they go back to Thailand, it's just like $100,000 tournament. I can't buy a Rolex with that.
It didn't. Okay.
What's up?
I know we're kind of joking at that, but that is kind of what happened to the team last year when they ended up going to PMGC. I felt like they got a little bit carried away with what happened last year at PMWI with all that money that they won. I'm hoping that now they have that experience, right? Now that they know that...
Don't let it get to their heads.
Yeah, don't let it get to your heads.
Hey, Tony K doesn't have that.
Oh,
this is going to be it's the first experience.
That's for sure. I mean, they definitely had that confidence issue last year, but I feel like they learned from that mistake last year. Chances are they will, with this level of play, make it in PMGC again. I think we're all kind of expecting that. So I feel the finals, maybe Vampire Esports could do PMWI and maybe PMGC champions. I mean, that's a really big shot, but I mean, from this level of play, it could be happening.
I want to see it.
That'd honestly be insane, but of course that is still months away. They need to focus on closing out this tournament and maintaining this pace to not only break records, but to break their bank, because they're going to be sending a lot of money that way at this rate. But gentlemen, we are going to be heading into our 3rd match of the day. It will be our 2nd Erangel of the day as well, so we're expecting maybe some slight adaptations out of these teams. We've already seen Alpha 7 do it, as you mentioned before, leaving Mafioso back a little bit to kind of be the anchor. We've seen Gladiators do it by kind of going for those 2-2 spreads, then regrouping. But we need to see more out of teams like your DRS, your Stalwarts. I mean, honestly, we could go on for quite a while here about that, but we're not seeing adaptations that we want to see necessarily. DRS is just struggling here, Max. But you know what? It is time to head into our game here, so let's throw it back over to our desk, our caster desk, with John Allen, the caster, and Blink, the Joker.
Why so serious, Jason? Why am I so serious at the end of the day? But also, if I did get $1 million, I would burn all of it. Would you?
No, I would spend all of it very quickly.
Do you think?
Yeah,
What would be the first thing you'd buy?
the first thing I'd buy.
I'll tell you what I'd buy. Sertani to coach a PUBG Mobile team, because he would get me another $1 million the next year and the year after and the year after that.
Okay. Did you want to know what I wanted to buy? Or you just
Not
wanted-
really. I kind of asked you the question so that I could answer the question.
That sounds like you.
What do you think of Tiamba?
I think that they're doing the best. I think you should stop ragging on them.
That's fair. What do you think of Tony K, though?
I think he's doing the best.
He absolutely
100%.
is. The guy's
Like,
out of this world right now.
just looking at his stats though alone, it is unbelievable. I mean, 22 knocks. His grenade limbs are lacking slightly. You know, he's one behind first. That's not okay.
Yeah,
that needs to change.
That needs
Straight
to
away.
step up there. I mean, the damage numbers, I don't think the desk talked about it too much, but the damage numbers alone
6K.
were insane. Like
Yeah.
almost double second place.
Yeah, he's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
A pickup for the ages on Vampire. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of times when you see this kind of thing come through, you get a pickup like this and they instantly get transferred to another team a lot of times. But I think that if I was Tony K, I'm here with Vampires. Genuinely, it is such a good squad to be on right now for him. The support from the other players in the team is really good. And like I said before, it's like a weight's been lifted for Stone, because before he was really playing like the main fragger role for the team. And I think he has been playing way, way better as a backstop for them. Ravenclaw still on that off angle, playing as a scout, really, really good. And Schweppes, again, just another support player for the team. I say just, I really don't mean just at the end of the day. And now Tony K can really be that initiator for the squad, the guy you put on the off angle when it's most important, and he really needs to hit those shots. It is a great foundation, and I feel bad for Newsy, because I really don't know when they're going to sub him in. It's not likely to happen.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, right? But still, you know, even if you're on the bench, you're still, I'm assuming, seeing a portion of the success.
Yeah, I would be cheering. Like, yeah, I don't even care right now. They win more money.
Money!
Pretty much.
I mean, you could also contribute, and we talked a little bit about this before, right? You can contribute from that bench position in sort of a pseudo-analyst role, and if you're providing value to the team, they are happy to have you there. The question is, where do you want to go as a player, right? Do you want to be a little bit of a bench, a supporting player?
Do you want to be a little bit of a bench?
Just a little bench, four legs and a flat surface to sit on. Can be provide a lot of support to the rest of the team.
Yeah, if you sit on
But do
it.
you want to be the support to a phenomenal world-class top tier team, or do you want to maybe take a step back and play at a level that maybe is a little bit below where you're sat right now?
Yeah, okay. Fair play.
But you do get to play, is the point.
Yeah, I think right now I'd take the money. Yeah, I think I would stick with Vampire Esports, because he is seeing play here and there. And I think there is a lot of times where one of your players is a little bit ill. Maybe they're not feeling their best on the day.
It's good for Vampire, for sure.
Yeah, because Vampires can just slot in Newsy, and he's still a really good player. And we saw him play too. And he actually subbed in, did fairly well. That was decent. So I think for Vampires, having a wealth of extra players to pick from who are also really good at the game is really useful. Because a lot of times when you get stuck in that situation, your four-man squad, someone's not feeling their greatest, you just have to continue playing with them. And it's not always going to look good. But what is always going to look good, especially on you guys at home, is the 2023 PMWI Special Crate. Pick that up from July 15th through to August 15th in-game. Go ahead and grab some now.
Do it. I'm watching. Yeah, you. Come on. Go and get it. Right now. We'll wait.
Yeah, I see you. I know that you're still thinking about it.
Why haven't you got it yet? Come on. What are you doing?
Turn off the stream for a second.
Oh my god.
We're on stage one.
We're all waiting for you.
Pick up that crate and then come back over. And we'll all have a merry time. I guarantee you, something good's going to be in there. In the meantime, though, Circle heads over towards that western side, favors Vampire Esports. Why wouldn't it, at the end of the day? Alpha 7 also did make a move down towards the top side of Everest. Gladiators certainly have brought up their stats overall. 3.75 eliminations is great. They also didn't have to drop alongside with Tiamba. Opted not to pick up that similar start that they had in Erangel, which was pretty horrific as Gladiators were able to take them down pretty niftily. And I think Gladiators were happy for that. Having that extra 4 eliminations in the bag at the start of the game allowed them to get a really good amount of points. They're now in 5th with 60 points, just behind Box Gaming in 4th. So a really good jump up.
We're kind of playing 2 tournaments right now. We're playing Vampire and then the race for 2nd place. And actually, the 2nd place position is really interesting. It's very closely fought here between 4 teams, 5 if you want to go a little bit further down, and maybe you throw Fireflux in there. But I feel like Alter Ego is probably a much more likely candidate for a 2nd spot than Fireflux, given current performances.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. This is probably what you could be aiming for, is to try and beat out Alpha 7. And I think Alpha 7 is deservedly right now in 2nd place.
Yeah.
They have been playing a strong game. But honestly, to catch up with the counts of Thailand, it's going to be quite difficult, to be honest. And I think that with this particular circle, it's lilting towards Vampires, which feels scary.
Basically means they win it, right?
Basically, yeah.
Are they in the circle? Okay, they win. Are they outside of the circle? Yeah, probably still win.
They have that factor. I'm in the circle, therefore, most likely, I will be taking home all the money of this tournament factor.
I'm here, therefore I win.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, they vote that this is their 2nd chicken dinner of the season. We're speaking of them as if they are indomitable completely.
Yeah.
But they have been beaten before. We've seen it, actually, quite a few times.
Yeah, in PMGC, before they decided, actually, guys, we're good. We're actually good at this game.
Before they decided,
On the
actually, guys,
day.
we'll pick up Tony K.
Yeah. Well, the last day of PMGC, it was an absolute slobber knocker. Picked up a load of chicken dinners on that day, able to get up to a pretty reasonable result. I think it was 6th or 8th place. I'm pretty sure it was 6th, though. And again, Vampires, although they were beaten, certainly felt like a switch was turned on at that point, and they have just gone on to do extremely well this year. And with
6th in PMGC.
Yes, 6th. And some really good results. But we are harping on about Vampires so much because they are so good. You know what really interests me, though? Is our PEL resident, 628, 66 points. Really well done here in 3rd place. Feels like a team that's got under the radar a little bit today, but they're certainly still putting up points, especially benefiting from the amount of eliminations they were able to pick up yesterday.
Yang Won, a standout player on the roster for 628. He was so... I mean, we go back to that Miramar a couple times for this player because it was such an important off angle in that engagement with Alpha 7 that they did end up losing, but Yang Won was still standout in that, and that is, I think, demonstrative of his position within the team and his prowess in general. Hasn't had the best day today, as you say, but still very much possible for them to pick things up because this is only match 3 of the day.
Yeah, and I think that these points are a bit skewed because of the amount of points that Vampire has stolen.
True.
So far. So I still think that 628, 66 points, 3rd place, great news for them. Box Gaming also losing a player right off the get-go will just extend their lead further. Also allows Gladiators to potentially ladder up a little bit here. Alter Ego, although have dropped down, have not dropped off as of yet. They're still putting up points here and there to hold on. Although, compared to their yesterday start, it has been quite lackluster. Stalwart, on the other hand, what are they doing?
It's not ideal.
It's not, and
I'll put it that way.
I think we can comment on this the way we currently are.
Yeah.
Which is with a little bit of fun and poking, because this is not Stalwart at all. It's either either the competitiveness of this lobby is so incredibly high, or Stalwart has really had a bad tournament so far. There is only two answers.
I think little column A, little column B.
Little column B.
I mean, it's a little bit of both for me. Obviously, we've talked a lot over the course of the last year and a half or so about how much these teams are starting to step up in terms of their rotational awareness, in terms of their positional control, in terms of their gun skill as well. I mean, it's incredible to see that development come through. And of course, that's going to be shown here at the highest level of competition, at the PMWI, where these teams are the best in the world right now.
Yeah.
But then you look at what Stalwart have been able to do in the past from these players specifically, their trajectory as well, where they have also seen that improvement, but it just isn't on display here.
Yeah, and I think there's a really interesting thing to talk about in that sense is that we heard from Senator at the start of the day saying that he'd picked up 2 additional strong fraggers for the team. Back when Scry and Pika were playing as mainstays, I think although, yeah, they weren't performing to a point where they were blasting out their minds in tournaments within their region, they still did very well on an international stage. And I think the difference is that you have these players that are more orientated towards eliminations, but maybe don't have that support role that probably Action and Top desperately need. From Pika, from Scry. Scry has taken some excellent off angles in the past. Pika's done very good as just a survivalist to get them towards that end game and pick up some placement points. And I think that when you come to these international tournaments, you do have to play on the defensive sometimes. And Vampire certainly have had to play to that tune as well. Why they've got Ravenclaw. It's why they've got Stoned on the team, right?
Just needs a little bit more from Stalwart. That is the bottom line. 4 of our talent team predicted this team to win the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Right now. And this is just not the same team. They are, as you say, a completely different roster seemingly in this tournament.
He's teasing him.
He doesn't have the team shot right now. Waiting for team. Yeah, you can see the 2 players from Falcons cresting that summit there to try and get in position. If the shots landed, to just roll straight on down, but didn't manage to land too much and they divert instead. Falcons looking to back off Alter Ego, but Alter Ego ahead on this rotation. Just to the north side of Pachinki. Falcons trying to skirt away as well. Through the compounds, into the rolling headshot fields. These hills provide a little bit of cover, sure, but you peek them and you're going to make like Mafioso against Tony K.
Rosemary trying to take some shots backwards with the Scar out. Has to send away though. The thing with these fielded areas is that a lot of times, yes, they do give you some good little bits of cover here and there, but you really have to be on the swivel. A lot of times have your team split up to watch several different angles. Right now, Octa, there's a couple of shots his way as they whiz past him like a couple of angry bees. Falcons, though, swirling in the distance. And Infinity IQ, all 4 players had nades out. That is not something you want to see come up against.
They're all over this one. But Alter Ego with 2, actually, holding off fairly effectively, playing split. Rosemary crests the ridge with the Vector, swaps to the Scar, and they don't seem to have paid attention to it. Tries to go a little bit further forwards, but gets backed off, an Octa full second. Potato there, looking to try and get some answer, some revenge. Will be able to find 1. Now needs to turn the corner and get another as well. Bensu with the nade in hand has a teammate forwards to take care of Potato. Just Fnatic left standing now for Alter Ego. The flush confirmed, and Bensu now up to the fight with Fnatic. Nade in hand has to duck back, and nade over the top is so close to going down. But with 2 players alive, res is available. Alter Ego are flagging.
It's just a bit of over-aggression there coming through. Wow, Fnatic finds Bensu on the top side. That's really big. Might be sending another nade, goes a little bit too far, has the UMP, but versus 3 to do the work all over again. That is not going to be easy.
Fnatic, 1 more nade, but the UMP as well. Axa from Falcons have been pushing in behind this engagement. Fnatic goes down to the DBS of Ferrari, who's able to 1v4 in the previous matches that we saw. Now wants to keep his team alive, and Infinity IQ get everyone back to their feet. They have a path into this next circle, but it's treacherous open ground, and Falcons are right here as well.
Yeah, I think you saw it from Rosemary. I mean, we've all been there where you see a squad all lined up. You take the initial, you find maybe one knock, and you're like, I could go for the 4-piece. It will look amazing. You don't find it, you go for the repeat, and you get knocked down. I think Rosemary could have waited for the rest of the team. Kaldailan finds one. Huga's down, and just Ferrari remaining now.
Needs to repeat performance here. Bensu flushed away as well. They tuck in, look for the res. The nade is there. Poigar rotating in on bended knee, and the shotgun finds the flush. Ferrari with the DBS, not going to get it done this time. And Ragnar seals the deal here for Infinity IQ. They take the tumble.
Falcons sail on past Forest, who is not hitting the shots like in the past. We'll pull out the nade, though, to defend on this ridge side. Pretty strong position for D plus Kia. He's right on the edge of the circle, though. Tony K, once again. I mean, there's not much to say about that, honestly. He is just that good. Still popping off from halfway across the map. They are destroying the two teams fighting off in the distance. And there's another one.
Oh, my goodness. That is unbelievable. Vampire, a lot of control exerted. Box, lose another. 628 try to move on in. Gladiators on the north side, in the meantime, having a tough time against Alpha 7 as well. The majority of their roster getting cut down to size. 2 players left for the Gladiators, as Box are left with 1. 628 trying to swell around this. The position for Vampire is just phenomenal. To overlook this entire fight, to control the fields in front of them.
Yeah, it's a bit silly. I mean, the position they're currently holding is really strong. It has such great sightlines out and around this fielded area. You can see Kitsune already been torn apart by Tony K. Meku most likely to fall next. He's just a laser beam.
What can you do? What can you do? Nade over the top from Reject Tokyo to take down Kitsune fully. Meku hiding amongst the hay bales, and I think that was a Molotov I just caught. Over the top from Reject. To just try and get rid of that thorn in their side. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Look, all I'll say is I called it stage 2.
You know who else is in circle?
Yeah.
Fireflux.
Fireflux are in the circle. They were the ones to defeat the Vampires. You are right. Maybe they're their one weakness.
Fire. Does it take down Vampires? Is that a big thing? Not entirely sure. Nades. Doing a lot of work in this engagement here. DRS with the sightlines up the top rope. Rules. Might want to reposition, though, because Giante's left alone right now, because Killer is down. Top, last in action for Stalwart. Wants to try and keep him in this, but the DBS is intimidating. Barking him back up the stairs. And looking for this res as well. Almost looking to confirm that commit. Molotov there will stop any thought of going down and getting this engagement. The only way you go down is hopping out these windows blank, getting over the balcony. And top taken low once more. And the re-knock comes through. What more have you got? A nade out, and was it cooked right?